Hey everyone, welcome back to Automation. So today I thought that I would take the Karen Kamander, which is big and unnecessary, and make it even bigger and more unnecessary, but also give it worse fuel economy. Now I know it's hard to believe that you can do worse than 37.7 liters per 100 kilometers, but I think I can. I've got a couple ideas on how we can do it, and just for those who are still using Imperial for some reason, I'm going to quickly convert that for you. That is 6.2 miles per US gallon. So, not great. Now, there are a couple of things that we can do to make this worse right out of the gate here. So, we have the ability to lower and raise the quality of things, which does add to weight. I'm way back at the beginning because I want to try and find the heaviest materials, and then I'm going to choose those. Okay, so we currently weigh 3488 kilos. Power is probably going to increase, but I'm going to try and flood it so that it takes a lot more fuel. And again, just to make sure we're on the same page, we're starting with 37.7 liters per 100 Ks. So in terms of materials, chassis, and all that kind of stuff, none of this can get any heavier. I just checked, and unfortunately, we have the heaviest panel material, heaviest chassis type, all this kind of stuff, so we're just going to have to deal with that. Now, I do suspect, though, that lowering the quality of these things is going to raise the weight, so I want to see if that theory is true, and it is indeed true, so I guess we're getting a really low quality Karen Kamander here. If you raise the slider up the entire way, we go down to 3200, so obviously it's got to be at the lowest possible. What I'm going to try and do for this is use the existing engine. We might go for a twin turbo V16 because I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be the least efficient engine possible. Now this is what we want to watch in terms of the engine right here, 16.3% fuel efficiency, and the octane is currently fine. But what I want to do, just because, let's try to experiment a little bit and see if we can lower that down a lot further just by raising up the fuel mixture quite significantly. Our efficiency has dropped down to 1.6%. That's looking pretty good. 1.6, and we're only making 100 horsepower. Okay, it is possible to get it down to 0%, but then we're only making 2.5 horsepower. I do want to have some power, so it looks like, I don't know. I'm going to have to tune the rest of the car around this now, aren't I? Okay, this is incredibly finicky, but I think around here is about the lowest that I can go. I still want to have a lot of power, but having super bad fuel efficiency, I think is going to help. So let me just quickly go back to the fuel economy stuff here. One step too far right here, 306 liters per 100 kilometers. Oh my goodness. Hold on, let me check that. That is 0.7 miles per gallon for those Imperial users there. 306. Good lord, I did not think that this was going to be so easy. I'm honestly really curious now as to what we can get out of this having, I mean, it's only got 100 horsepower and this thing weighs 4,000 kilos. It's not going to even move. I've got to be able to do better than this. So I think I'm going to try some things to get where I want to be. I don't know. I mean, we may as well just start going a bit crazy, right? Full billet steel components. As long as that efficiency stays the same, then whatever. I want to get some good quality stuff here and see if I can make a little bit more power in keeping with this number. Okay, so raising the cam profile, that's actually going down, but we are gaining a little bit of power. I should be able to increase, oh wait, that's just making it more efficient. Not allowed. Okay, cam profile up all the way puts it down to 1.3%, which I'm really liking the look of. We can now get higher into the RPM range. I'm not too worried about this kind of stuff. 1.3, oh, it's getting worse. Okay, we're down to 98 horsepower if I lower the ignition timing to 0. Which means that we have 1.2, so I don't think that's quite worth it. I don't know though. I guess right there, 104 with 12 timing. Let me try ultimate fuel. Let me see if that makes it worse. Okay, we're currently at 438 liters per 100 kilometers. That's horrendous. Okay, so I've made some major adjustments, including raising up the quality of a lot of this stuff and lowering the quality of the fuel system significantly, to the point that, I mean, I'm making 159 horsepower, but the pistons, conrods, and the crank are all dying, which is probably due to the cam profile being up so high. No worries though, that's not a big deal. Okay, this is just getting ridiculous. I did not know that this was possible, but currently at 1% efficiency, 135.4 horsepower. and a lot of death going on here. I'll turn it down a little bit to fix that, because I want to actually drive this. I'm actually wondering... Yeah, that's not really going to help, but if we go over to the testing, you can see I've got 694 liters per 100 kilometers, which is, again, so bad. I'm so interested to try this out in Beam. We're going to try some different tests with different amounts of fuel in the tank and see how long they last, but it's going to be good. Alright, so 694 is pretty horrendous. That's got to be like 0.5, maybe less, 0.3 miles per gallon, something like that. I have no idea. This is just a quick head calculation, but yeah, I'm min-maxing things like crazy to try and figure this out. Turbos actually seem to fix it, so I'm not going to be using that. And I want to try going to a race head, or race intake. That doesn't seem to be helping much, but it is helping reliability. And then I'm going to go per cylinder as well. And then I'll go direct injection. Oh, that raised it up too high. Nope, not allowed. Okay, so the engine is extremely inefficient, 1.1%. I think that's all I'm going to do here. I should raise up the RPM limit, but I am very afraid of this kind of just dying. It's at the highest quality parts, but yeah, I just want it to work. That's kind of the point of this. So 140 horsepower, moving 4,000 kilos. This is not going to go well. Okay, so I just attempted to switch to carburetors and it just broke the entire engine, so... yeah, not great. I just wanted to check how bad a carburetor would make it, but here we are. I mean, direct injection kind of improves it significantly, unfortunately 2.5%, but it does give us 300 horsepower. If we move over to the testing, you can see that goes down to 237 liters per 100 kilometers, which is just not enough. Like, we need to burn more fuel. This efficiency graph is so good. It like, oh, it's going up, very nice. Nice, 1%, and then all the way down to 0.03 as soon as you hit 4,700 RPM. It's just amazing. Okay, it seems like anything except for multi-point EFI just breaks this engine, which is highly unfortunate. But anyway, I think I'm going to stop here because I just messed it up somehow. If we go back over here, I'm at 513. I was at like 690 something, I believe, but I think that's as good as it's going to get for now. I might have to come back for that to see what we can do. Now, another key part of this is making the gearing terrible, so that's what I'm going to do next. But yeah, so far, this is looking great. Alright, so in terms of styling and stuff, I'm basically just going to leave it all the same. I'm going to lower the body quality significantly because I want this to be heavier. You can see going over here... Actually, wait a minute. What's happened? Well, I'm an idiot. You're supposed to raise the body quality. Whoops. I think I lost a lot of weight when I raised up the quality of the engine materials. But yeah, it's okay. We're still just under 4,000 kilos, and it's going to go up. Trust me on that one. So I'm actually not going to change the Karen Kamander in terms of its aesthetic at all, because it's basically perfect. I really like the way that it looks. And yeah, let's just move forward. So on to gearing. Now, as you can see, we have a significant amount of overdrive here. The vehicle is capable of... Oh wait, hold on. It's not quite capable of the speed that it estimates that it's supposed to be at. One thing that is good though is that it's currently a 9 speed, so we're dropping it down to a 4 because that's gonna be better. Yeah, there we go, 683 liters per 100 kilometers. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Now, this is probably gonna need to go down like a lot. I'm gonna lower it pretty close to the estimated top speed. I mean, we only have like 100 horsepower, right? So we want as short of gears as we can possibly get, which is why I'm also going to lower the spacing down all the way. And then we'll see what this does. 5,340 liters per 100 kilometers. Oh my goodness, I'm going to cry. This is so beautiful. Alright, I'm not confident that this engine is even going to move forward at this, so I might... actually, you know what, it's probably best that I export a couple versions of this, because we're gonna need to make sure that we have enough power to make it through, but there you go. Oh, it's so bad. Like, I'm concerned that the engine isn't gonna even have enough torque to move it at this rate, because the first gear needs to get up to 100 kilometers an hour. Like, that's not going to be easy with 100 horsepower. In terms of wheels, there are a few things that we can do. One of them that I've done so far is I put on semi-slicks, which made it even worse because more grip means worse fuel economy. You can see our fuel economy is right here now. It's 5,903.7 liters per 100 kilometers. Beautiful. I really should have been looking at that when I was doing this, by the way. That was dumb. Oh, there we go, 6,000 if we go for a normal auto. I like it. Oh, if we go 4x4, we get 6,066. There we go. Guys, I don't even know what to tell you right now. I have just broken 17,000 liters per 100 kilometers. Like, what on this earth is this? Oh my goodness, it's like a rocket ship. Okay, in terms of wheels, I have a couple ideas. One of them is that I'm going to lower the quality of them and make them heavier on purpose. And then I'm also going to make them bigger, because the bigger the wheels, the worse the fuel economy. Okay, there we go, 18,300. That is immensely beautiful. I'm very happy with myself. You can probably tell. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this version as is, and then I'm going to make a version that has like 300 or 400 horsepower, which is probably going to be more fuel efficient, but I want to have that just in case this one doesn't move, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, in terms of brakes, I mean, there isn't really much that we can do here. Just increase the size of these, increase the pad type so it actually stops. I mean, the quality is up so high on these. We need to be able to stop. If we go for a full downforce tray, we actually gain fuel efficiency, which is unfortunate. Active wing doesn't really do anything. Cooling flaps actually makes it better. Brake airflow, that makes it worse, so we'll turn that all the way up. And then quality, all the way down. It's worse again. Interior, so let's make the front seat a bench seat. We'll make all the seats as big as they can possibly be with handmade. Luxury HUD. Actually, we need a lower quality interior instead of higher. I've messed that up before. 19,500. Can we break 20k? Is this gonna happen? Okay, the front tires blew out again. I'm going down to 26s. I'm actually going down to 25s because otherwise we're not going to be able to make it. This is like the gimped version of Karen's car. Just so heavy that it's breaking everything. And I really like it. But I'm going to go ahead and give it this. I mean, we may as well increase the drivability, right? And we'll give it full quality of that as well. And full quality safety as well, which means 20k has been broken. Suspension, it's probably okay the way it is, but I'm going to lower the quality of the suspension as well, just because, well, why not at this point? And there you have it. This is the Karen Kamander, but it's the big and unnecessary version. Let me name this one after its fuel economy because I want to keep track of this. This one weighs 4,909 kilos, good lord, and has a very nice fuel efficiency of 20,831.9 liters per 100k. Goodness, this is gonna be great in Beam, by the way, because it's probably not gonna work. Alright, let me just quickly save that car file just in case anybody wants it, and we'll export this lad, and let me just quickly make another version, and then we'll go over to BeamNG. Okay, so I've cloned Karen's sick, nasty, horrible fuel economy ride, and I also changed the color of that previous one to be this. I'm going to quickly change the color of this one as well, just because I want them to be, I don't know, a little bit different. So we're going to make this one pink for whatever reason. But this one I'm going to make really quickly because I have an idea. I'm just going to make a brand new engine. We want horrible fuel economy, but we also want big power, so I'm going to try and fit a V16 into it. We'll make that out of cast iron, and we can probably fit something pretty big into this bay, but we definitely want to have all-wheel drive. Actually, we want 4x4, don't we? This is a 2 for the price of 1, but I'm going to skip through this one quickly, so don't blink. Okay, so I just made myself a really quick naturally aspirated V16. So this number here is going to change, but this is a massive lad. It is huge and ready to party here. It's taken up the whole engine bay, which is good, but also the fuel efficiency is just too good. That's 12.9 or 12.5%. I'm kind of curious actually just to see what a fuel efficient engine looks like in this. So if we go over to drivetrain, we're still getting, actually that's pretty good fuel economy right there, 576.4 liters per 100 kilometers. Obviously we can't have that. We do have a tidy 375 horsepower, but that's not really what I'm after here, is it? Okay, fuel efficiency is up to 14%. I'm going to try my best to make that worse. Basically what I did before was I turned up the fuel system all the way, there we go, down to 1.8%, but I want to make it so that we actually have power with this engine, just because it's going to complain that we don't have enough power. If we go over back to the car again and we just take a look at the stuff here, we're at a cool 2,000 instead of the 20,000, and our total weight is just a little bit more, so not really working. Let me go through this. I'm going to try to get it exactly where I want it to be, and then I'll bring you there when I get there. Okay, so I've come up with another version of the Karen Kamander here. This one has a much more reasonable, maybe a slightly more realistic, although let's be real, it's not that realistic, 311.4 liters per 100 kilometers. So why don't we test these things both out in Beam? I'm going to quickly rename and export this one, and then, well, let's see which one actually works. If this one is the only one that works, we'll do all our testing with this. If they both work, we'll compare the two. Alright, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. So this is the Karen Kamander that was supposed to have 20,000 liters per 100 kilometers, which basically just means it would empty a fuel tank in like seconds as you try and move forward. So you can see on the left there that the engine is currently locked up, and yeah, it doesn't work, unfortunately. Thankfully, if we just restart it here, it does idle, which is good. I mean, that's a bonus. I still haven't fixed that issue, by the way, with the Kamander where the mirroring is off. I just never bothered, but anyway, it just adds to the charm. So if I switch into drive and I go a little bit on the throttle, just a little bit, then it will lurch forward. I believe I've got it up to 20 kilometers an hour so far before the engine quit. Just about there it goes, so it's quite unfortunate. I have an idea though, and I want to just quickly leave this going while we're working on this other test, because what we can do is we can go to the tuning here and we can take the fuel volume and turn it down to 10 liters, and we'll just leave it right there, 10 liters. I figure let's just leave it idling and see how long it takes to burn 10 liters worth of fuel. It's probably not going to take too long. I think by the time that we come back from this testing, it's probably going to have burnt it all. So that started at about 2 minutes and 30 seconds on my timer, so we'll come back to that in a bit. Okay, so here is the Karen Kamander that apparently gets 300 liters per 100 kilometers, which doesn't seem like much if you consider the 20,000 number, but I'm pretty sure this one actually works. I haven't actually tried it yet. The gearing, as you would suspect, is horrendous, but we should be able to fly through a tank if we really get moving. At least that's the theory. I mean, this is a pretty beefy V16. It is maximum quality. It does have 300 horsepower at the end of the day, and yeah, there we go. We got a shift out of it. I'm kind of hoping to get up high into that RPM where it burns most of its fuel and then just kind of leave it there. Like, the max speed on this is not very much, so we're just gonna have to wait for a bit, I guess. Okay, you can see the fuel meter is going down. It's the blue bar in the radial menu there. It is going down. It's probably not going to take too long for me to empty this. See, I don't know about 300 liters per 100 kilometers though. I guess what we can do is we can try and track the distance that we drive and base that off of a specific amount of fuel in the tank and see if we can get to that sort of number. I mean, that's pretty easy to do, so why don't we do that in a bit. We'll just wait and see if I can actually drain the tank just driving at 150k an hour. I mean, this bright pink Kamander is pretty fitting. It's working pretty well, surprisingly. I mean, the top speed is not very much. Maybe I could have increased that a little bit for some extra defueling potential. Oh, you know what would make it worse, though? Okay, I just got a great idea. I'm just gonna hit the brakes a little bit here. I mean, we're activating the ESC, but what if I put it in low range? That means we're gonna be even higher in the RPM for our speed. I don't know if this is actually gonna work or not. I mean, we're probably gonna stay at 10,000 RPM the whole time, going 60k an hour. Yeah, I'm sorry if you're being deafened right now, by the way. I'm kind of convinced that this is not gonna make it go any faster. We're just bouncing off the limiter the same as we would if we were in high range, but yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and try some testing. Quick checkup over here, and it does seem to be running out of fuel. I think I can get a fuel widget, so let me figure that out. According to the fuel widget over here, we're burning 8.0 liters per 100 kilometers just idling with this engine. Just idling it burns that much. Crazy. We started at 10 liters, it's currently down to 7.6 something, and it has been 4 minutes so far. That's not a lot of time for that many liters of fuel. And over here we currently have 67.5 liters, and it's going to burn it much slower than the other one, even though obviously this one's very inefficient as well. What I want to do though is we'll test this with this vehicle, we'll test it with the Karen Kamander, the normal one, and we'll see how that turns out. But first things first though, let's lower down the fuel volume to 10. Right, so we currently have 10 liters in the tank, that's fine right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of widgets here that we need. First one is cruise, and the second one is a trip computer right here, right now. I can just put that over on this side. So let's give it a try. I'm going to start off in neutral, I'm going to reset our distance, I'm going to reset the car, and then I am going to drive slowly with one finger on the throttle, and then I'm going to set the cruise to a cool 50 k's an hour, and we'll see if it can cruise at that for a while, and see how long it takes us to burn the fuel here. We're currently using, what is that, 150 liters per 100 kilometers? That's not good. So yeah, just cruising at 50 kilometers an hour. I mean, we've gone a couple of hundred meters, we're almost at half a kilometer. But this is not a good cruising fuel economy. 140, wow. Out of curiosity, I'm going to turn this up. I'm going to turn it up to, let's say 75. Right there, just like that. And, oh wow, 600. I see an average of maybe 240, 230. It's probably going to level out around 220 there. Yikes, goodness. Okay, so around 220 at 75, and if we increase that to 100... then we should see it be even worse here. When it's accelerating, it does go like way above 600 liters per 100 kilometers, which is a little bit spooky. We're down to about half gas at this cruising speed. It'll be interesting though. What I want to do next is I'm going to compare the original Kamander to this one, and we'll see kind of where they're at for vehicles of the same stature. But we'll do that once we run out of fuel here. Okay, so when you're cruising at 100, you can expect to get 260 liters per 100 kilometers. That's a bargain right there. I would suggest not doing that. We're burning through fuel like crazy right now. Okay, I've dropped it back down to 50. We're not using any fuel because it's just slowing down. But the best fuel economy I've seen on there was just shown 9 liters per 100 kilometers, but that was only for a brief moment before it goes back to the 140-ish. Like, what? It's so bad. Anyway, okay, I have a couple more ideas. Okay, we're almost out of fuel. I went to 60, and then I've gone back up to 75, but we are about done the tank there. That's 0.5 liters left in there. Yeah, 3.94 kilometers on that much fuel. That's not good. That's not good at all. And she's gone. That's it. Engine disabled. Not enough fuel in the tank to continue. And we managed to go 4.3 Ks. Not bad. Well, I mean, for something like this, I guess not bad. Okay, so I want to repeat that same test with this car here. This is the original Kamander. This one can do quite a bit more speed, so we're just going to keep it around the same as the other one. It'll get to 100 a lot faster. But I just want to try it at 50, 75, and 100 again, just to compare the two in terms of like fuel economy. I don't know. Let's see how this goes. So all we got to do here, it's currently set to 100. Let's make this actually go right. So cruising at 50, we are currently using 40, seems like 36 maybe, somewhere around 40 liters per 100 kilometers. So that is a pretty significant difference. That's a difference of 100 liters per 100 kilometers on this thing. And this is with a full tank of fuel as well, so that extra weight is there. This thing, it claims to have 37 liters per 100 kilometers. You can kind of see that here at this speed. But if you crank it up and you try and get up to, say, 75, just like that, as we accelerate again, we're gaining, like we're losing efficiency, but as soon as you start to sit at it, now our efficiency is actually getting better instead of worse because our gearing is good. But there you go, 25 liters per 100 Ks. And then again, unsure how this one's gonna go. I'm assuming it's gonna be more efficient at 100, but let's see. It depends on the gearing once again. Up at 100, okay, it should sit, I mean, above 4,000 is pretty high. It shouldn't sit, there we go. Below 3,000 it makes a lot more sense for something like this. It has 9 gears, remember? That makes a big difference, but 25 liters per 100 kilometers, yeah, that's a lot more realistic. That's pretty much what you would expect from like a real life car, not like this, this stuff that I'm messing with here. Okay, so my next idea is, well, it's really not that grand, but I just thought of it a minute ago. First thing we're going to do, though, is go back and check this one. We're down to 1.8 liters. That means that in the last... Oh geez, math, that's challenging. It's been about 15 minutes, so it's burned another 8 liters in 15 minutes, which is interesting to say the least. Okay, so one of the cool parts about BeamNG, one of the cool parts, it's got a lot of cool things going on. Let's get rid of all this because I need a trailer. To make this easier for myself, I'm just going to use a full trailer. I'll just spawn that right over here, and I'm going to pull it with the terribly inefficient car and see how things go. Not that terribly inefficient car, I mean this one. Okay, now I've given it more fuel because we actually need to like last through this, which would be good. I want to go some distance. I don't particularly care about how far it goes. Again, here I'm really just concerned about the fuel economy. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is I'll put this Karen Kamander on there, and then we should be able to use this thing as just basically a big weight on the back. It's basically, I mean, it's about the same weight as this one is. That one up there is about 5,000 kilos. This one I believe is somewhere around 4,000, so 1,000 kilo difference in this world doesn't mean too much. Okay, let's see if this is gonna work. I don't think it's going to work that well, to be honest. I mean, we're currently getting 1,000 liters per 100 kilometers. Alright, you can see it a little bit better there. Fuel consumption is currently 800. Okay, so somewhere around 900 liters per 100 kilometers as we cruise here with this big rig. Maybe I should just start attaching more trailers. Okay, I seem to be unable to get to 100 kilometers an hour with this trailer, with this current gearing setup, which is not helping things. I'm going to turn it down to 90 because obviously we can get to 90 from the looks of things. So we'll see what the cruising fuel economy is with this kind of load. And cruising fuel economy here seems to be about 450. And we're not even cruising at 90 either, we're currently cruising at 82. That's not quite what I anticipated there. I was thinking that it would get to 90, but apparently not. Come on. There it is, 90 k's an hour, but as soon as I get off the throttle, then it's not going to be able to do it. Okay, let's drop down to 75. Hopefully it can do that. Okay, so it is cruising at 75 now. Fuel economy is a little bit better, 300 liters per 100 kilometers. These are the kind of vehicles that just kill the planet, by the way. Please don't be like this. And unfortunately, I've taken a drastic tumble. That was my fault there. What a mistake. Well, this thing's out of fuel, as you would probably have suspected. I'm kind of interested though, I just want to quickly respawn this one. Alright, so if we just set off nice and slowly, what does our fuel consumption look like? Okay, it's at 30,000, that's about what you would expect, but it is dropping rapidly. I'm going to give it a little bit more juice here. Again, trying to go as slowly as possible. 700... Yikes, that's a lot for this kind of speed. I imagine that if you really tried to get up there, it would just drink the fuel, just gone. But there we go. 20 kilometers an hour, 700 liters per 100 kilometers. Wow. You know, what did I learn today? Not much. I mean, I just made 2 ridiculously inefficient vehicles to complement my previously ridiculously inefficient vehicle. But hey, it's just for fun here. I'm just doing this for a joke mostly. And I think it was a pretty good joke. Let me know what you think of these builds. Let me know what you think of the Karen Kamander 2.0 versions. I'm pretty sure this thing on this area here, on this nice track, could probably suck down a full fuel tank in like 20 minutes. Maybe even less if you really push it. Just look at that fuel tank drop. My goodness, the percentage is going down so quick. But anyway, I'm having a lot of fun with this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did in the comments, and by liking the video or subscribing to the channel as well if you enjoyed this content. I'm going to keep making more automation stuff. I actually make an automation video every week now, so yeah, look forward to that. For those of you who are more invested in my channel, you'll know that I'm working on a Flat Out 3 video. I'm sorry that didn't come out this week. It is going to come out eventually. I just haven't had time, just no time at all these days, but I'm getting there. The script is actually fully written. I'm just in the process of editing it, and then I need to find time to record the voiceover for it, and get some footage, edit that all together, and throw it out for you to see, because I think you're going to like it. It should be about 25 minutes or so. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. See you guys again next time. As always, I just want to thank those who have chosen to support this channel. We have Overlord, That Right Stud Explorer, QT Bear, Terry Williams, The Most Random Person, Sick D Cars and Stuff, Boris Ramirez, Jug, and Jacob. Thank you guys for your support, and those who have chosen to support via just the normal supporter rank. I appreciate you guys a lot. Yeah, my goodness, things are changing fast, and it's going to be really exciting come this September. I'm going to have a garage to show you guys, so get ready for that. See you then.